Hi, Mike Fisher, the Fish, 105.3 The Fan. Exclusive stuff tonight, and we'll do three issues, three chapters of Cowboys behavior. We will start with literally exclusive on Randy Gregory. As we reported early in the week, last week, Randy Gregory is due now on Monday to have his submission to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell's office. And I mean, you could literally just send an email saying, I would like to apply for reinstatement. That's legal and it's been done. In Gregory's case, this will be, as it was a year ago, a box full of documentation, a box full of drug tests that are clean, a box full of testimonials that are impressive, a box full of information that demonstrates what Randy Gregory's been doing here in the last few months. A lot of time in California going through a variety of behavioral programs, both drug-related and mental and emotional as well. And part of our report, I guess part number two of it, because the Monday thing is a big deal, part number two of the Randy Gregory story is that while this will be a request for full reinstatement, it will not be a demand for one. You go before the commissioner, and if you put your tail between your legs, and if you say, I'm sorry, and if you say, I'm trying, and in the case of Randy Gregory, my view is he basically last year walked a 99-yard tightrope and then fell off in the final yard. And I don't still know the exact details of what happened in that final yard. We're working on that. But go to the commissioner and say, I'm trying, I screwed up. Don't pretend otherwise, because pretending otherwise doesn't work. Then the third leg on this chair is, I believe Randy Gregory's parents, who are based in Michigan and live in Michigan, I think they're going to be an important part of this. And so I'm going to suggest that maybe Randy Gregory is prepared to tell the commissioner in this documentation, this box full of stuff, what if my parents moved from Michigan and moved to Frisco, and I live with my parents as part of my guidance program? We will get updates on this, of course, as we go. Training camp just 2 weeks away. But I remind you again, this isn't necessarily Randy Gregory going to play in week one. I'm not sure that he thinks he's ready to play in week one. I'm not sure that's where his mind is at right now. I think his mind is, I'd like to go to training camp with the Cowboys. That's my team. It's my employer. It's my friends. It's my coaches, my mentors. They have resources to help me, and I think that's what this petition is about. Cowboy behavioral issue number two is Ezekiel Elliott. And I've been chastised on Twitter at Fish Sports, as you can see right there, for finding it humorous that the young lad in Las Vegas thinks that some crime's been committed. And I'm trying to help Cowboy fans and Cowboy critics understand there's two different issues here. If I was the father of that young man who looks to be in his 20s, and I have two sons in their 20s, and one of my sons called me and said, guess what, Dad? I worked security last night at a concert. Yes, son. And Ezekiel Elliott came up to me after I said something to him. What'd you say, son? Well, Dad, I said, well, you're a big man. Well, son, did you say it kind of like a smart ass? Like, oh, big man. Or did you say it respectfully? Because Ezekiel Elliott's response to whatever you said was to come up to you and nudge you. That's the best way to describe it. And Ezekiel Elliott shouldn't put his hands on other people, and he shouldn't put his nudge on other people. But that did indeed happen. And then the boy, in this case my boy, my son, was nudged backwards and clumsily fell over some metal security fixture that made a lot of racket on the video. This is not assault, and this is not battery. And when we talk about behavior, I am not defending Ezekiel Elliott's behavior. If you go back and look at my 4 years of coverage on Zeke, that includes thousands and thousands and thousands of paragraphs, and I'm going to say hundreds of conversations with Ezekiel Elliott and people around him. I'm not taking his side in his misbehavior. It's two separate issues for me. The behavior of Ezekiel Elliott, go home at 3 a.m. and get a driver. The behavior of this security kid, reprehensible. I'd be embarrassed to be his dad. Unfortunately, his dad is also talking to Channel 5 in Las Vegas saying, I'll tell you what, if I would have been there, I would have dropped Ezekiel Elliott myself. Ezekiel Elliott is twice your weight and half your age, sir. Believe me, as someone who actually weighs the same as Ezekiel Elliott, but is still twice his age, I know what I'm talking about. And behavioral issue number 3, our old friend David Irving. This isn't going to pop up in the news because it just happened on Facebook. But I guess, is it Ballers? Is that the show? And there's a character on Ballers who's a defensive lineman from California who got suspended for drugs. And our old pal, David Irving, was on social media asking one of his kind of agent kind of guys and asking the public, I think I could sue because that character surely is based on me. And using that logic, you know that show Law and Order? It's ripped from the headlines. Using that logic, every single person that ever committed a sex crime would get to sue Law and Order, SUV. Using that logic, the movie, what's the movie with the football movie with Al Pacino as the coach?
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. So every Italian coach should sue Every Given Sunday. Every black young quarterback should sue Any Given Sunday. And any old white quarterback should sue. No, that's not the way it works, David. What you should do, David Irving, though, is call Ballers, not to sue them, but to apply for a job. Because David Irving, as an actor, is what he should really be doing for a job. He is quite a character. You can catch me on 105.3 The Fan, obviously, almost every morning at 7:20 when Sean Shreve and RJ Choppy let me. Every day with G-Bag Nation at 11:20, and then training camp. It's wall-to-wall ball here on 105.3 The Fan. We are the Cowboys station for a reason. We are all going to Oxnard. Then I'm going to San Francisco. Then I'm going to Hawaii. Wherever the Cowboys go, we are there, and we invite you to join us to like this and subscribe to this. I don't really understand it. The Drunk Sports Podcast boys are trying to explain it to me. All I do is talk and look incredibly good. That's all I really bring to the table. Fish out. If I can figure out how to push the button to out.